Ladies and gentlemen, the historic underrepresentation of people of Jammu is finally going to be corrected. Today, the Supreme Court has dismissed pleas challenging the constitution of the Delimitation Committee, which has redrawn the political map of Jammu and Kashmir after abrogation of Article 370. Essentially, when elections are held next, Jammu gets its due representation in the Assembly, with the number of seats being increased from 37 to 43 now. Kashmir region, which used to have 46 seats, will now have 47 seats. The Apex Court has opined that Section 62 of the J&K Reorganization Act allows Delimitation Commission to read the seats, reallot rather the seats, and that its constitutional validity was not even challenged. However, the lobby remains defiant, rejecting the bid to allegedly change the demography of the region. Opposition says that majority will now be turned into a minority. Listen in.
हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि उसके बारे में क्या फैसला आता है और जो रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एक्ट है वो ऑलरेडी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने पेंडिंग है 370 पेंडिंग है सब कुछ पेंडिंग है तो जब वो चीजें पेंडिंग है तो इस पे वो फैसला कैसे दे सकते हैं तो ये तो एक डिलिमिटेशन तो एक टैक्टिकल रिगिंग का एक प्रोसेस था
डिलिमिटेशन करवाना ही कानूनी तौर पर गलत था तो हम ये समझते हैं कि ये गलत बात थी और ये इनको कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करना नहीं चाहिए था चलो अब किया इन्होंने तो हमने तब भी ये पब्लिक के लिए नहीं था ये बीजेपी ने खुद अपने लिए इसको ठीक करने के लिए किया अपने लिए बेनिफिट के लिए किया
जिन लोगों ने ये पेटिशन की है वो शायद जाने पहचाने लोग भी नहीं उन्होंने किस गर्ज से ये पेटिशन की थी क्या मकसद था वो वही लोग जानते हैं हमारा यही है कि जो डिलिमिटेशन प्रोसेस जो हुआ वो फेयर हुआ नहीं चीफ मिनिस्टर के लिए यहाँ मजहब का कोई नहीं है हिंदू भी बन सकता है मुसलमान भी बन सकता है ये जो बीजेपी वाले कहते हैं ये कोई अच्छी सियासत नहीं
The BJP has hailed the decision by the top court, saying that the monopoly of Muslims in the Union Territory will finally end.
आज उसको सुप्रीम कोर्ट द्वारा खारिज कर दिया गया आज खुशी का माहौल है पूरे जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर और जो मोनोपोली कश्मीरी मुस्लिम द्वारा बनाई गई थी सीएम के नाम पर आज वो मोनोपोली सचमुच में टूट गई अब जम्मू से भी कोई भी सीएम किसी भी धर्म जाति का बन सकता है जो गुपकार गैंग द्वारा जो षड्यंत्र रचा जा रहा था उस षड्यंत्र को भी जबरदस्त धक्का लगा है और अब अगला सीएम जम्मू से भी हो सकता है
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, let's take this across to our guests. We have with us Sanju Verma, a spokesperson of the BJP. Sushil Pandit, activist, is with us. Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress, continues to be with us. Let me start with you first, Sushil Pandit. This is a massive move today because the Supreme Court's verdict today was perhaps the only thing that stands now between the Delimitation Act, which was completed by the Delimitation Commission late last year, and elections from actually being conducted on ground. Sushil Pandit.
Thank you for having me on your show, Madhav. I think elections in the state of Jammu and Kashmir right now will be premature. The state of Jammu and Kashmir, the state of polity, the state of affairs on ground are far from normal. The Jammu Kashmir employees, especially PM package employees, in thousands have quit the valley, are camping in Jammu in order to get relocated because they face a threat to their life. They feel like sitting ducks there. Number two, the political logjam continues in the valley with the traditional parties who are unabashedly hostile to Indian interest, national interest, continue to rule the roost, and with their kind of arrangement between them, it's very difficult to rid the Union Territory of their stranglehold. And I was just hearing Mr. Yudhvir Sethi, Vice President of the BJP State Unit, When he claims that now there will be a chief minister from Jammu, I wonder what are the basis of his claims when Jammu has a 4 sheets short of the valley seats, and number 2, the valley mindset has extended beyond Pir Panjal range into Rajouri, Poonch and Doda. And you can see the patterns of electoral victories in the local body elections, in the panchayat elections there. These are Muslim majority areas. These are also now getting affected by jihad, as you saw. Bomb blasts happening, targeted killings happening in Rajouri and Doda, families getting wiped out.
Let's go one by one. Let's go one by one.
You've raised elections are forced too soon. This is this delimitation alone.
We don't know whether elections will happen. It's for the Election Commission to announce it, if at all. But at least in terms of one big legal hurdle that has now been cleared. But let me bring in Majid Hydari right into this debate. Majid Hydari, the question is this: that if there was historical underrepresentation of Jammu and that has been corrected now, as many have commented publicly, as you very well know, then what is wrong with that? Because many are saying that the valley-based political parties literally had a stranglehold over Jammu and Kashmir's politics for the past 7 decades. And that's a fact.
Madhav, I am reminded of this couplet. हमको शाहों की अदालत से तवक्को तो नहीं, हमको शाहों की अदालत से तवक्को तो नहीं, आप कहते हैं तो जंजीर हिला देते हैं. I don't want to comment over what Honorable Supreme Court has responded in towards the petition which was filed by some people from Kashmir. Things are getting obvious on that front. My point is very simple, sir. It has been 5 years of targeted killing of democracy in Jammu and Kashmir when the PDP-BJP government collapsed. When will democracy be revived in Jammu and Kashmir? That is my simple point, because even Honorable Home Minister on the floor of Parliament said that we are going to revive democracy. It has been 4 years since now again. So when will we revive democracy in world's largest democracy? We are entity of world's largest democracy. Why don't we have democratic rights? Why have we been thrown at the mercy of some arrogant and allegedly corrupt bureaucrats who are running Jammu and Kashmir, and we don't have anybody to put forth our voice before the central government? I mean, when will we have democracy? That is the biggest point. But this judgment is just going to clear the decks for that.
This judgment is just one step closer to that, is it not, Majid Hydari? The Delimitation Commission was an important step. Now you are a step closer.
See, you are trying to confuse the viewers. Delimitation was never about elections. It had nothing to do with elections, and it was not a hindrance in the process of elections. Elections could have been done otherwise also. So don't give an excuse of delimitation.
Why would it not happen now? If there is a Delimitation Commission that has decided, if the decks have been cleared by the Supreme Court, I mean, of course, we don't know what the law and order situation on ground would be, or there are other concerns like weather, etc., which the Election Commission has articulated in the past.
So even after the abrogation of 370, things are not getting normal. We have targeted killings. We don't have situation coming to normal.
What does this have to do with Article 370?
Better before that at least we had democracy in place.
Our democracy. We are living in the world's largest democracy, but we don't have a democracy in Jammu and Kashmir. Sanju Verma, would you respond to that question of Majid Hydari?
The fact that, Majid Hydari can come on Madhav's show and wax eloquent about the loss of democracy when the whole world is actually lauding Prime Minister Narendra Modi for empowering India's marginalized, that itself says a lot about the fact that आप लोगों के लिए तो अच्छे दिन आ गए हैं, क्योंकि आप यहाँ पर बैठकर अनाप शनाप बोलते हैं. Now let me give you one very logical explanation. As Sushil Pandit said, you don't know whether elections will happen tomorrow or whether elections will happen after 2 years or 3 years. That is not the moot point. This petition was filed by Haji Abdul Ghani Khan. Madhav, what is this?
One at a time. Majid Hydari, one at a time. Let him make a point. Let him make a point. You can also respond to that. Go ahead.
Yeah. This petition was filed by 2 residents of Srinagar, Haji Abdul Ghani Khan and Muhammad Ayub Mattu. And the premise of their petition was basically that they said, why was Section 63 of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019 repealed by the Modi government? Because remember, in February 2021, Madhav, in Rajya Sabha, we introduced the amended J&K Reorganization Bill. And in that we said that the number of seats will go up in all, in J&K Ladakh from 107 to 114, in Jammu and Kashmir from 83 to 90, as Sushil Pandit said, 43 in Jammu, 47 in Kashmir Valley. Now the moot point is this, there is a very interesting thing which you should know. It is said that when a Supreme Court has already given a judgment and the Delimitation Commission is an autonomous body and its verdict can rarely be challenged under the Constitution. When it has given a verdict, if there is an appeal, that appeal has to be filed within 30 days of the Delimitation Commission giving its verdict. Now tell me, Majid Hydari, when was the Delimitation Commission's verdict? The verdict came in May 2022. The appeal should have been done by June or July 2022. Despite not filing an appeal within the first 30 days, the Supreme Court still accepted the review petition.
Okay.
The Supreme Court still accepted the review petition, but it was found
and it has adjudicated on it. All right, let me bring in Sarfaraz Wani on that point, because Sarfaraz Wani, once and for all, this would settle the debate, because despite legal limitations that were there, which were not adhered to in this particular case, Sanju Verma is saying that the highest court of the land heard this particular case and has given its considered opinion. Shouldn't this once and for all end this entire disinformation that political parties etc. keep spreading about this entire delimitation award? Because even though there is no appeal or no review really that can take place, it's happened in this case, it's followed due process. At least now these controversies should settle down.
See, Madhav, this should not have been decided by the Supreme Court at the first place. Why? Because the delimitation in Jammu and Kashmir right now is the baby of the decision which was taken up in the Parliament on August 5th, whereby the Reorganization Act was passed and subsequently the state was divided into 2 union territories. So once there is a basic act, under that act something has happened. Because that very act is right now in challenge in the Supreme Court. That has not been decided by the Constitution bench. Still, maybe that may be heard in the coming time. When that very basic act has not been decided, because
so are we questioning the wisdom of the Supreme Court, sir?
No. I'm just telling you, even if you tell me that
if a final order has been given, I mean, you can't go down into hair splitting.
I am trying to explain what the judgment is all about, right? If you tell me the delimitation order has been passed, I will say it is a legal order. If you consider it with the act which has been passed in the Parliament. But when the very basic act is under challenge, if that is held ultra vires by the Supreme Court, this will all go. Even the today's verdict will go.
Okay.
I'm saying if that will be held,
it has not been held.
If the decision of August 5th will be held unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in the coming times, then this will also go.
Okay.
This is simple.
Okay, yes, the Supreme Court has not adjudicated on this. The Supreme Court has not adjudicated on this, but I want to bring in Lokesh Jindal. Lokesh Jindal, where does the Congress party stand on this? Because Congress's leader in Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Mir, has, rather curiously, sided with the Abdullahs and the Muftis of the world, because he has also come out to question this delimitation commission. Now that is very serious, because at the end of the day, the Congress is a national party. If there is a constitutionally valid commission that has done its job as per the statutory requirements, the Supreme Court has given its verdict, where does the question still arise of questioning this particular commission?
Madhav, as per Article 170 Clause 3, this particular article had frozen delimitation till the first census after 2026. So how is it possible that right now there is a delimitation on the basis of 2011 census? Secondly, right now the status of Jammu Kashmir is that of Union Territory. Now if you talk about the present constitutional framework, then the Union Territory of NCR and Puducherry is being fixed on the basis of 1971 census. So the point is, the government has to come clear that it has recently issued a notification to bring about a delimitation on the basis of 2011, whereas the Constitution itself mentions, as per Article 170 Clause 3, and also with respect to that the delimitation stands frozen till 2026.
Well, that is an amendment that was brought in by the then Farooq Abdullah government, sir, and that assembly, as we know, is dysfunctional now for all practical purposes. This is what sources in the Election Commission have said, but we're completely out of time. Completely out of time. I'm sure all of this would have been considered by the Supreme Court before giving its final order today. The larger question is whether we should all abide by what the Apex Court has said, because that, at the end of the day, is the law of the land. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening. We want to leave our viewers with this rousing display of maneuvers and formations that was witnessed at the Aero India Show 2023 in Bengaluru today. The Sukhoi MKI-30 dazzling the skies with its signature loot tumble yaw, and the Indian fighter jet Tejas displaying an exciting show of might in the air. The indigenously developed LCH Prachand scintillating aerobatic maneuvers, and the Indian Air Force aerobatic teams Sarang and Surya Kiran stole the show at Aero India 2023. Attendees at the Aero Show today saw the surprise debut of the US Air Force's two newest fifth-generation supersonic multirole F-35 aircraft, considered to be one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world.